Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Classic Tycoon here, and we're back for episode 2 of our Shops and Drops Planet Coaster series. In the last one, we finished up our log flume, got it opened up. Plenty of people getting into the line here, so we're going to do some stuff with the scenery around that in a little bit today. And then we're going to take care of some housekeeping things as usual, and then I think I would like to get into building a coaster today as well. So let's dive into it here. Alright, so we see the line going pretty good here on the log flume. It is pretty bare bones right now, no scenery, so I do want to start taking a look at that, seeing what our options are as far as scenery goes, because we haven't really looked at that yet. Got a lot of big ships and stuff here. Got some archways. Everything's a little bit pricey right now, though. So we got about $5,000. Our guest count is around almost pushing up to 500, 464. So we're probably just going to want to have a little bit more money in the bank before we really start building any scenery. And we're going to want to figure out, exactly what looks best. This one's pretty cheap here, this computer terminal. But this is kind of, separated a little bit from the park, which is a bunch of sci-fi stuff going on over there. So we just got to decide exactly what we want it to look like. A lot of times, I'm not really the type to add a lot of scenery to rides or try to make it look, absolutely perfect. I pretty much just like to try and get that queue line decorated up a little bit so that the guests are actually a little bit happier with it. So we'll take a look at that. That's kind of a cool spaceship right there, but I don't really think that it fits the ride very well. But yeah, we'll decide on that in a little bit. Another thing I would like to do is build a stand over here, like a hat stand. We're going to want to go check on our hat stand that we currently have and see how it's doing, along with our other shops and stalls as well. You can see we've got some trash here left over from the last episode. I'd like to pick up our handyman and go throw him on that trash, but he is heading over to the building to rest, so we'll leave him alone for now. I think it's probably important to have them resting up once in a while, so we'll leave him alone. I'm also going to want to start training employees a little bit once we actually need that. His workload is high, so we'll leave him alone for now. Let him go rest. I think someone will eventually come over and clean up that trash. I also think that having some litter bins around will be beneficial, but we'll deal with that in a moment. Also, I think we should start building some other rides here. I think I'm going to go with this Gears of Fear. Nice, big, exciting thrill ride. We can throw it in somewhere around this scenery. Got to make sure that we're inside the park lines, which, again, can be a little bit difficult to see. But probably somewhere around here will be fine. And we'll use it as a stop to get basically to our next coaster, or our first coaster that we're going to build, which we'll get to in a little while. Don't really think we need this path here, so let's get rid of it. It's just kind of an eyesore. running low on cash, so I'm going to see what I can do to maybe get some more cash flow going. Looks like people are happy about the price of the aeronauts there, so we'll increase that. Not seeing any thoughts concerning the price of the log flume right now. So we'll leave that alone for now. You can see our money, we're running pretty low here. And now we see really the reason. I think the Looper 24 here is one of our big money makers. And it's broken down right now. I don't know how long it's been broken down for. But you can see the ticket price on it is pretty high. So it'll be important to keep this ride open. But it looks like our mechanic got there, so we'll just give that a second. And hopefully once it's fixed, our money will start going up. Speaking of cash and revenue, we do need to be checking on our shops and stalls, because that's the whole point of this this park, is to get some good revenue going out of shops and stalls. So just checking out the Chief Beef. This is our only food stall at the moment. And then here's our drink stall. One thing that can be a little bit frustrating about this game is when you click on the scenery around the building, it can be difficult to just get onto the building itself. So here we go. Here's our drink stall. Seems to be doing okay right now. Nice line going. And then here's our hat stall. And you can see we've got a net revenue of negative 410. I think we're going to want to move this. I'm going to actually just delete it for now. And then I'm going to build a new one over by the exit of the log flume. I'm hoping that by the time people are that deep into the park, they're a little bit happier from going on rides. And it's going to be close to the log flume as we do get the Looper back open here. It's taken a while. I thought this was the mechanic for a second. It's just a piece of scenery. But yeah, it took a while to get this back open, and no one's in line for it yet. But it looks like people are making their way, so we'll leave it alone for now. We've been able to just barely maintain a profit in the park. Speaking of which, I think we've just finished some research that we were doing. So now we've got ATM, some balloons, and I believe it was another new stall that we can put it in a little while. Alright, so it looks like we're back to normal here. And you can see our money is now doubled what it was just a moment ago when the Looper was closed. So I think that this thing is really a good cash cow for us. And the log flume still going strong, but again, a little barren. So we'll take care of that in a moment. Alright, so like I said, I want to build a hat stall or a souvenir stall of some kind at the exit of the log flume. So let's figure out the best spot for that. I was going to put it there, but I need that space for Pathway to build more rides and expand the park in the future. I think this is an okay spot for it. So let's open that up and see how it goes. Okay, now I forgot to open up this ride earlier, so let's get that going so we can start getting some revenue off of this ride, so it's not just sitting here. And we'll see how guests enjoy it. I also want to take a look at the queue line and see how it does as far as the length of this queue. It's a pretty long ride time. Looks like more than half of our queue is able to get on the ride at a time. That's pretty good. I think we can extend the length of this queue line just a little bit. That might be beneficial. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll just lengthen it a little bit and see how that goes. You can see that's a massive amount of guests are getting off of the ride, so hopefully that longer queue line will be okay for this ride. Let's check out our hat shop, see how it's doing. Still losing money, and guests are not having the best thoughts about it, but we have had 10 guests buy souvenirs from it. We're going to leave it for now. If we feel like in the future that it's not doing well, we can move it again. You can see that our guest population is up to close to 800 now. So almost double, what was it, like 450? So we're almost doubling our guests just by inserting that Gears of Fear and getting that opened up. Alright, so a long queue line for the log flume, so let's shorten that up and then we'll add a little bit of scenery to it as well. As far as the scenery goes here, I'm just going to go with mostly some desert scenery, and again, it's not going to be too much. I just want to fill up some of the space here. Looks like we got a notification that the guests aren't too happy about the queue time for this ride. So that's unfortunate, but we're just going to leave it alone for now. Why don't we throw in just a couple of sci-fi aspects to the queue line of the log flume. Just to stick with the themes a little bit more. And hopefully this solves some of those problems of the guests thinking that the ride does not have enough decorations, at least in the queue. I think it will. It usually doesn't take too much. Looks like we've got a bit of a line here at the Hat's Fantastic, which is great to see. We've still lost money up to this point, but that number is definitely rising. I think we'll be making profit off of this pretty soon. Got a whole bunch of different hat options in here. I was thinking about just changing it to just the sci-fi hat, but at this point, I don't know if that would help or hurt. So we'll leave it alone for now. Lots of people are buying, if you look at them walking away, lots of people are buying like the pirate hats and stuff, so we'll just leave it alone. I don't want to be losing profit just because we don't offer enough choices. Got a pretty decent line. Oh, we've got this recycle bin out here. Let's get that moved. And then we'll duplicate some of these as well, because we do need more recycle bins around the park anyways. Multiple staff members have a high workload, it looks like. I think what I want to do to take care of that is just go through and start training some of them. Probably the ones that have higher workloads. Maybe train a couple of them. And hopefully, if they're better at their job, it'll help to alleviate some of that workload for them. I think hiring a couple more staff might be beneficial as well. So let's throw in another janitor and then another vendor, because they seem to be having the highest workloads right now. The mechanic had a low workload, so he's probably fine. And then I think we'll throw in one of these robot guys. Hopefully that will help with some of the entertainment in our park. Let's check out our finances for a second. Shops and facilities, we are making profit. Some pretty decent profit overall. September was a little bit lower, but things are moving up. Why don't we research a few more of these facilities? Got an information kiosk. I'm not sure exactly how the information kiosk works in this game as opposed to Roller Coaster Tycoon, so we'll just research it and see how it is. Get another gift shop going. Then we do have a couple of rides available. There's a mouse hunt. Why don't we go ahead and get that researched, and then maybe we'll be able to build one of those soon. All right. Let's go ahead and add some scenery to this Gears of Fear. Just a little bit. Nothing special, obviously. And then now I want to start building a coaster. So, lots of stuff that we had to take care of, but let's go ahead and choose this power-up coaster. Chain lifted vertically before then being inverted. I have no idea what that means. I don't know why it's called power-up if it's chain lifted. Let's go ahead and just build one and see how it goes. The only way to figure out these things is to just go ahead and do it. I'm trying to find a good spot for it. We are pretty close to the edge of the park right here, which worries me a little bit. I do just kind of want to build like something small with it just to see exactly how this coaster works, because I'm not really sure. So right off the bat, you can see it has a pretty large like inversion, I guess. Like a large piece of track that comes off of it right off the beginning. So we're gonna move it over here. And then this is not gonna be the entire coaster, okay? I'm just taking a look at how it works. Okay. All right, so that gives me an idea. So let's really start building this thing. So it's actually a pretty cool coaster. So let's see what we can do with it. We got a whole slew of these rolls. I mean, that's what this entire section is called, is rolls. Looks like this is where there's a bunch of different looping options. Looks like we got our corkscrews in here. Why don't we start off with this corkscrew? Here we go. So we got kind of this like double corkscrew going. And then that will allow us to lead into this full corkscrew, this kind of inverted corkscrew that comes backwards. And then I like this pretzel loop right here. Let's throw that in. Looks like the coaster's making that just fine. I do really like all these looping options. One of the cool things about this game, I feel like, is just how smoothly all of these, there's a ton of inversions that are pre-built. I think they're all really good. Let's go into this helix here. And then we'll go into another sort of inversion here. I'm thinking this loop. Let's test it out. It's a little bit tall, though. So the coaster doesn't quite make that one. We're going to have to do something else. Maybe another one of these half corkscrews. Or I guess it's like a inverted corkscrew. Alright, so the coaster will make that okay. Alright, I like that helix there. I think we'll turn it around and have it go the other way with another helix going down. And then we'll do another inversion over in here. And we'll wrap the coaster up around this point. This time, I don't think there's going to be anything that works very well that's pre-built, so we're going to have to make a custom half loop right here. Kind of a half barrel roll into a half loop. As you can see, I'm just kind of filtering through the track and seeing the different brake options. I wasn't sure if I wanted to brake right here or not. Alright, so here's a half loop that kind of turns off, and then let's complete the track here and see how it looks. I think we'll also try and slow the coaster down around this point. So we'll throw in some brakes. And then if we want another train right here, those brakes will come in handy. Okay, looks like the coaster made it. Well, let's do an official test and actually watch it this time, see how it all looks. And see, we got the number of laps and the number of cars. And the game's not letting me change the number of cars or the number of trains. So I'm starting to realize you can only actually have one train on this roller coaster. And you can only have a maximum of 2 cars, it looks like. Unless, I mean, we'll try making the station platform a little bit bigger, and maybe that'll let us increase the number of cars. I also want to increase the chain speed, especially if we're only going to be allowed one train. We need this to actually be going a little bit quicker. So this might be kind of a long roller coaster ride, honestly, if we're only going to have one train going at a time. I mean, it's not like extremely long. Yeah, it's not like extremely long, but again, it's pretty long for just one train. So that's the problem. Okay, and it does pass through. Let's see if we turn down the number of laps, what that does. Oh, okay, so that does basically nothing. So we're gonna need the 2 laps so that the coaster will go through the station platform and then finish the ride. So I had no idea that this is how this coaster works, but I'm not going to completely rebuild the whole thing right now. We're just going to go with it, see how it does. All right, so let's keep the test going. But actually, whoops. It's very good that they have an undo button, because I just deleted the entire coaster. All right, so let's extend the platform out a little bit and see if we can do a longer train if we do that. Changing the end of the coaster up just a little bit because of the changes that we're making to the station platform. I'm going to go with friction brakes as well instead of the trim brakes. Not sure if that's beneficial or not. And again, it's not letting us change the number of cars. So that is what it is, I guess. Alright, we'll keep it testing. We did just get a notification that too many guests are trying to use the Gulpy stand and the burger stand. That's great news. So we're going to want to throw in some more food. So let's start with a food stall. I think maybe we'll go with this hot dog squad right here. And it looks like we have insufficient funds. Now looking at our cash, this is a problem. We're actually in the negatives. And getting worse very quickly. Looks like our ride is broken down again, so we're just going to have to take a loan out for now. There we go. And this will just allow us... I want to use the loan right now to build the queue path and the pathway to the roller coaster so that we can get it open and have it start making some money for us. So we actually paused the game, so I'm not losing money too quickly here, just in case. You know, I think it would be fine if we left the game running. But just to be safe, we'll pause it just to make sure that we actually get the path there so that we can open it up and start making money on this ride. Okay, so now we can open up the coaster. Why don't we increase the ticket price? Start with $20. I think it's got a pretty good excitement rating there, 8.46. I think that's good. We'll take it. And let's see if the guests go on the ride. Some people are turning away, but some people are getting on. Now looking in the background, it looks like a lot of people are actually not getting on the ride. Yeah, you see those two like booking it to get on the ride and then they just turned away. So I think it might be a little bit too expensive. Let's go ahead and turn down that ticket price. It was originally at $10. Let's try it down at $15. Yeah, I guess he seemed to be getting on now, so we'll leave it at 15. And then we made that queue path nice and short. We'll see if it's short enough, honestly. And then it is just called Power Up 3, kind of a boring generic name. If you guys have any ideas for a name for this roller coaster, go ahead and drop them in the comments for me. All right, getting some more notifications. Let's do some last minute housekeeping things and then we'll wrap up this episode. So staff building says that it doesn't have enough capacity to keep the staff members happy, so let's just increase the capacity a little bit. It's going to cost me a little bit of money, but another thing that I want to do is add a perk to this staff building. Looks like if we do the staff entertainment, it'll help staff be more resilient. So I'm going to go with that. And we got kind of a log jam going on over here with our guests. They're getting a little stuck on each other. I wonder if it's the scenery. Whoops. I wonder if it's the scenery that's causing the problem, or if we just need to make the path wider. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. We might have to just have a really short queue line for this ride. Looks like a lot of fun, though. I would love to ride this. Yeah, again, go ahead and drop some ideas for names for this roller coaster. I kind of like the color scheme of it, but we might change the color scheme to be more sci-fi. Okay, looking good. Alright, back to the task at hand here. We need to put a hot dog stall in here. take care of the guest needs and start getting some more revenue from shops and stalls. If there's a demand for it, obviously we're going to want to take advantage of that. So let's throw this in here. I also am going to start increasing the price on some of the food here, just by 50 cents, and see how the guests handle that. I think I'm going to increase all the food and drinks by 50 cents and the souvenirs by 50 cents as well. And see if that helps us reach our goals a little bit faster. And then last thing I want to do is, as you look at our profits here, we are steadily going up. I think that will grow faster in the future. Looks like our research is done. So we've got our information kiosk, we've got our new shop stall, just a memento, and we've got our new roller coaster. So that's good. I want to go ahead and try building an information kiosk, as we also repay our loan. We've got plenty of money for now. If we need to take out another loan, we will. I want to build an information kiosk because I've never done it, or at least I don't remember doing it in the past in this game, so I want to see what the options are at the information kiosk. So we'll go ahead and do this nice sci-fi styled one, and we'll take a look at it. And it looks like the only thing that we can sell at the information kiosk is the priority pass. I don't have a priority, any priority lines for any of the rides at the moment. So I just don't see the point in having this if what we're trying to do is actually sell items. So there's no like park map or umbrellas like in Roller Coaster Tycoon. Looks like we can advertise certain things with the information kiosk, but I'm not really interested in that right now. So we're just going to get rid of it, and we'll put something else here in the future. Probably just some, I don't know, scenery or something. Alright guys, this episode's running a little bit long today, so let's wrap it up right here. We're going to really focus in on these shops and stalls in the next one, see if we can start getting some more money going from that. We're very close to our bronze goal on this, but thank you for watching this. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next one.